Guten Tag, everyone, and welcome to the big show. I am your host, Jurek, and how is everybody doing? Oh, that's good to hear. Me? Oh, well, it is decorative gourd season over here, so I figured I'd come into the studio early today and spruce the place up with an assortment of casually placed shellacked vegetables. So imagine my surprise when I got here to find a scented letter from Ouija saying they were sending someone special over for an interview. So I finished sprinkling a few colored leaves around and found my horn-shaped wicker basket, and here we are. So let's bring them out here. The brand spanking new premium tier 6 German cruiser and the first ship to make the Cleveland look mediocre. Give it up for Weimar. Oh, I'm supposed to keep going? You want me to say it? All right, I'll say it. This is a certified Kraken printer. I bet every CC posts a Kraken video on this ship because, how did this make it through testing? Before we get too much further, let me put the commander and modules up on the big screen. We have Carl Pilkington with the Steel Reserved One himself, Yamamoto, and the Betty Davis-eyed Stormin' Norman Scott. If you were tasked with making an insanely powerful cruiser and wowzels, it might sound something like this. I want lots of guns. I want them to fire fast. I want them to start fires easily. I want them to have 1/4 HE penetration. I want insanely good AP. I want 2 racks of torpedoes in each side. I want it to have sonar. And hold on there. You have to be willing to give something up. Okay, give me the York hole. But I only want to be tier 6. Deal? And Ouija says, deal. And that's what we have here. Technically, this is a tier 7 match as there are 2 tier 7 ships on the other team, and this is going to be a pretty decent match between the red and blue team. And I think this is also going to fairly decently show how this ship performs. And it performs quite well. I don't think anyone missed last week when Ouija posted the stats, and after some simple math, everyone realized the insane DPM this ship is going to pump out. This should be at tier 7. I mean, yes, you make a mistake and you can get deleted by a battleship, but if you play smart and position yourself well, then this is essentially easy mode, and I haven't even barely played this ship much. I haven't even tried making it completely agile yet because the very first game I took it out, I quickly realized, well, this is too good. And so I think we were under 25,000 XP when I got this Kraken, and honestly, I probably could have had 3 at this point. With my commander spec'd as he is, we're at an 11% chance to start a fire, though you could get that up to 13%, I believe, and because it is German, it has 1/4 HE pen, which means no need for equilibrium of power, as this will already penetrate, I think, 38 millimeters, though its HE alpha is mediocre. But it's German AP, which means it is very, very good AP when you have the broadside to shoot at. I wish I'd saved it, but I single salvoed a full health Miyoko, and it left my mouth agape at witnessing such a brutal murder. It made me feel drunk with power, like a ship I haven't played in a while. Dare I compare it to Kleber? I think I might have to, but one of the reasons Kleber appears so good is because of the lack of cruisers at Legendary tier, not to mention the gameplay there, but there are plenty of less experienced players in tier 6 as well. But what's the weakness of this ship? Just the threat of being blapped by a battleship? That's no different than any other cruiser at any other tier aside from the Oshkov and the goddamn Wichita, but I guess compared to those, this at least has a citadel. But a warning to players in Oshkovs and Wichitas thinking that they have got it made in the shade. That is not so. The Weimar will shred even those OP ships given the chance. Now, I don't know how much this ship costs in real money. No doubt too much. As you probably know, the Wowzels community contributors are given this ship for free, and longtime viewers may know before I was in the community contributor program, I only ever bought one ship, and that was the München, because it spoke to my cruiser-loving heart in ways that I can't explain. But pretend you are the watcher, and we ask ourselves, what if? What if Jerk never bought the München and was now ready to buy a cruiser? Which would it be? Well, it might still be the München, as I find it a bit more exciting to play, but again, that's because I haven't tried the fly-by-the-seat-of-your-pants thrill ride that is making this ship agile, but realistically, it shouldn't even be close. This ship stands miles above the others, so much so, I have to wonder what Ouija can actually do. It's a premium ship after all, and nerfing premium ships is very iffy in the legal world. I guess we should sink this Colorado, right? We need to sink this Colorado because if you've been paying attention to the minimap, you can see what's happening. Our team has been blown out in the east, and looks like the red team's gonna be heading this way. So we've got to head back to our home cap, so to speak. And that's where the rest of this battle is going to take place. While I reposition, I want to give some props to our Jean Bart and our Z35 that are over here by me. Both of them are going to do exactly what is needed to win this game. Our Z35 has no health, and as such is headed to Cap B to flip it, and our Jean Bart is positioning themselves in the center channel to catch the broadside of anything that tries to cross over onto our base. I myself am headed back to sea, as there is a near 100% chance the Red Destroyer will be headed there, as well as having cover to be able to spam anything that gets spotted. Sadly, our friendly Nagato is about to succumb to the pressure that they have been subjected to probably this whole game. But our Jean Bart is going to remove the Piotr Bagration and get a high caliber in the process, and that is actually pretty huge as far as how this game goes. I say this ship is strong, but it is still very difficult to angle against two cruisers and a destroyer's torpedoes, not to mention the threat of a battleship out there somewhere. So having one less thing to worry about allows me to focus on what's important, and that is finding the destroyer. Now, I did pull up the minimap there, or whatever it's called, because I wanted to see if their destroyer had sunk any ships, so I knew that they were actually playing, and they have, so I am on high alert. And once I get spotted, I can be almost certain that the destroyer has come around from the south side of A onto our cap. So I'm going to keep my bow facing that way in case torpedoes should be coming. And I'm going to wait as long as I can before I put on this fancy German hydro. But I still have to worry about this York. So I'm going to fire at them while I can. Fortunately, they are backing up. That York can definitely do some work to me. And let's see. My hydro's on. I'm rushing in to see. Torpedoes, well, they're headed to our Jean Bart, but I actually think that they miss all of these, if I'm not mistaken. Yikes, there's the Bismarck. Wiggle to try and dodge all these shots. But things are about to escalate quickly. Maintaining angles, right? Well, I don't have to worry about torpedoes just yet, though, you know, the Akatsuki can reload them pretty quickly. Our Jean Bart, though, they're going to take torpedoes from the York. There's the Akatsuki. All right. They don't want me to sink the Akatsuki, so they're going to be firing at me any way that they can to try and kill me. So I'm trying to get a couple salvos off on the Akatsuki, then turn to angle and check to see if there's any more fire coming in from the Bismarck. There's the Akatsuki again. Get another shot on them. Check and see if the York is coming this way. I've got to get that Akatsuki, though. York overshoots. Dodge the torpedoes that are incoming. Not quite a double strike here, though. Kind of feels like it should have been, but I guess I just didn't quite get enough mustard on that one. All right. That was intense. How can we pull this off? They still have... Oh boy, they have a full health Atlanta. They do have that weak Bismarck. I was definitely on the Kraken hunt at this point, and I was trying to think, okay, is the Bismarck going to come around this side? And I think you're going to see me pull out the torpedoes here to try and figure out which way they're headed. All right, I'm getting radared. Bismarck. Okay, it looks like they're coming around this side, and well, I gotta deal with this Atlanta. So I'm gonna angle towards the Atlanta, use this island to push back the Bismarck if need be. But this Atlanta is actually gonna come around and start blasting at me, and now we can see the AP. How does it work? Pretty decently. There we go, Kraken 318 in the Weimar, and our Z35 takes out the Bismarck. So we get the win. Not too shabby. Let's see the scoreboard. 3,141 XP for a very good game, and a GG to our Jean Bart and Z35 as well, and firm handshakes to everyone else involved. And that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you think the Weimar should also get a radar, go ahead and give this video a like. If you think it should get a 30mm bow, then hit dislike. Questions, comments, any ideas on how to actually balance this ship other than to just move it to tier 7, leave it down below. And to guarantee you don't miss what will no doubt be a whole bunch of videos in this ship until I am forced back into rehab, well, that's what subscribe is for. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll get back out there for another one soon, and we will talk